8.0, very nice. And welcome to stage, Ron Robinson.
They should have given the Robinsons a ticker tape parade when we burst onto the scene in mid-1950s Jersey City. Why? Nobody saw a biracial family before back there during that time. We were one of the first. Now let me tell you a little bit of history about who my people are. My mother, AKA Little Mommy, 5'3" strawberry blonde, blue-gray eyed, very light-skinned, ballerina, and a Berliner. She was from Berlin, Germany. And as she'd like to say, ich bin ein 100% Preußisch. 100% Prussian. That is the proudest of the proud of the German race. Now my father, 6'2", striking black man, athlete, soldier from Lynchburg, Virginia. And he, like my mother, who was also a soldier, met her in Germany during occupation after World War II. Now my mother, she actually was a combat veteran. She was drafted by Hitler, served on the front lines on an anti-aircraft gunnery battalion in the streets of Berlin until she deserted around Christmas of 1944 and escaped to Dresden and then escaped the firebombing in Dresden, luckily, because she'd already been through enough bombings in Berlin to know that they had to get the hell out of here when the air raid signals went off. Now my father, he was also fighting a war in the US military against segregation, because he was in the first group of black soldiers. He was in an all-black regiment that after Truman signed the executive order desegregating the military, he was in that first group of soldiers who were then starting to mix with white soldiers. And you can imagine that was not necessarily one where the black soldiers were welcomed with a ticker tape parade. Now, Hilda and Jimmy, here's how they met. There's at a party that my father was at. It was one of his GI buddies. And he got tired of the small talk. So he goes into the kitchen, and there's my mother washing dishes by herself in the kitchen. And he goes and stands right next to her. He rolls up the sleeves to his uniform, and he starts washing dishes right next to her. Now, they couldn't have said too many words to each other because they didn't speak many words of the other's language. But they were both kitchen people. And it was at the yellow Formica kitchen table in our house in Jersey City, which is where the greatest stories and the greatest happenings in our family's lives occurred. It's where our cats would come and sit next to us and jump on the table or jump on our laps and try to eat dinner with us. Is where my father would make this funny concoction of wine. He took a gallon of Gallo Hardy Burgundy and mixed it with a gallon of Taylor Tawny Port. And it was the most interesting combination of wines I've ever had in my entire life. And it was, but you know, as I got older and was able to drink, you know, the family wine, it was like delicious. It was just better than any Bordeaux I ever had. It was really good. And one of the things that the respite of coming home and having a family that we had was a very loving family, but it wasn't like we weren't in a almost like a life and death struggle, because during that time, when in the early '60s, I mean, things were not like they are you know, the way many people imagine them that they might have been in the North and thinking of everything bad was in the South. We integrated the Catholic parish in Jersey City. My brother and I, he's 3 years older, we integrated the Catholic grammar school. And it wasn't like I said, it wasn't like we were welcomed. It was very difficult. And I remember in 1963, August, late August, very hot. So we're sitting at home, we're watching this broadcast, and here's this man named Martin Luther King giving this speech. And he's talking about this dream he had about little black boys and girls holding hands with little white boys and girls. And I thought, as a kid, wow, that's great. I can hold my own hand because I'm both black and white. And I just thought that was special, you know. This is fantastic. And so I was really looking forward to going to my second grade, and you know, thinking, oh wow, this is really neat. And first day of class, I'm sitting, you know, a few seats from the front, and I tap this little girl, Michelle Concord, you know, tap her on the shoulder, and I wanted to say, hi, my name is Ronnie. What's your name? You know, like that kind of thing. But I just didn't have it in me for whatever reason. So I said, tapped her on the shoulder, and I said, you know what time lunch is? And she turned around as if to say, Melissa knew, and turned back around again. But she didn't say that. She turned around and she said, I can't talk to you because my father said I can't talk to Negroes. And then she turned right back around as if she had told me the time. And as a little kid with a black and a white parent, I'd never thought of myself like that before. And you know, it's like I was in shock. I'm a Negro? And you can't talk to me because of that? I mean, it's just like, that didn't make any sense. But that kept happening. You know, this sort of thing was going on at the time. And I would come home, and as much as my mother and father, of course, you know, we love you and this and that. But when you're amongst a group of kids all day long, and you're getting this kind of vibe, it's a little different. I remember when the Beatles had their song, I Want to Hold Your Hand, and my brother and I used to sing that and you know, wait till the radio station came on. We couldn't wait for that. But when I went to school, I was the only kid the girls wouldn't hold hands with. And on Valentine's Day, my box was the only one that was empty. And so that kind of growing up and being in the middle was a real challenge. And it's something that I've tried to negotiate my entire life, but be an example for people who are trying to put the opposites together and build a life of integrity and be there for others who are trying to do the same.
One more time for Ron Robinson.